Hi everyone, this is Francisco, and I am recording this video because I just thought about an idea. Well, not really, like right now, but I've been thinking about this idea for quite some time, and technically, all it is I was thinking to. Oh, it's bright out here. Okay, so I was thinking that we should create some robots, some AI robots, and these AI robots will be pretty much like security guards or like RoboCops, and I'm thinking that they will speak up for people. And I was thinking they could even be like smart Alex. Not to get in people's feelings, but just to see what type of people out there are aggressive towards other people. And so these people who do get aggressive and want to fight other people for whatever reason, but obviously we'll be dealing with AI robots that look like humans. So you guys could just imagine if someone wants to, fight one of these AI robots, or even sucker punch one of these AI robots, technically it'll be like them punching steel. They could technically break their hands. But I think that will teach them a lesson. What do you people think? Like, I kind of forgot the examples, but it was along those lines. Because there's we shouldn't have a society that is violent. So these AI robots, they'll just be smart and maybe even know self-defense, but not to inflict harm or injuries upon anyone, unless they decide, to fight one, and they hit the AI robot, then that'll be on them. And I guess a disclaimer could be like a t-shirt or a tattoo that says AI. So when they go to court, or when they go to the hospital, it'll be like hitting a police dog. It'll be equivalent to that. Like, you chose by your own free will to hit this AI robot. Like, no one forced you. You did it. Um, so I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities. But you people understand what I'm talking about, right? I'm sure you people can come up with different tests to test on people, real life people. Because no one should be putting their hands on people, right? A lot of us, we learned the hard way. I know I did. Right? So it'll be something like that. Something simple like that. It's super bright out here. Whoa. Whoa. Super simple. Let me see. Let me see if I can brainstorm some stuff for all of you to understand what I'm talking about. Let me see here. I mean, and like I said, like I mentioned, it will be, real life people who would inflict harm upon themselves for being aggressive towards others, first and foremost. What about, an AI robot, like going into like a tough neighborhood where some guys don't like other people walking in their streets or in their alleyways. And we could dress them up however we want. We could just put the opposite colors of what these people are wearing. Like, hey, I was just, you know, dressing up my robot the way I wanted, and I sent it to the store, and these thugs wanted to beat up my robot. So they stabbed it a few times. They shot it up a few times. And they even attempted to beat it up. They inflicted great bodily injury upon it. And the result of all that, they broke some fingers, their knuckles, their hands. You know, because the cheekbone, you guys can just imagine, it could be made out of steel. And it could be created in such a fashion that if someone were to sock it, hit it, it'll break their hands. You know, just a big old steel plate right there. Cast iron, heavy duty. And the AI robot will be monitoring and recording everything. You know, that can be used as evidence towards the aggressors. Because none of us want to live in a world with aggressive people. You know, these AI robots can even be decoys. I thought about that the other day. Decoy robots. They could even be placed in prisons with other inmates. Like, what about in a highly, you know, high security type of prison where inmates are, you know, as an example, as, you know, where inmates are kept away from each other, you know, and like I've heard stories of like the cells opening, like two cells at one time, and these guys go out their cells and then they start fighting. So if the AI robot, just to test people, so the AI robot will just be doing its own thing, minding its own business, just to see if the person that is released along with the AI robot, just to see if the person would, beat them up or torture the robot or whatever the case may be. Because, let's assume the tests were performed not to fuck with the person, the inmates, but to gather data, because our goal is to release them back into society, right? So we would have to test them with real life subjects, but in this case, they're artificial. So the robot will know exactly how to speak, how to carry itself, all that stuff. So we can program it to avoid conflict at all costs. So if the inmate comes out aggressively and starts abusing it, hitting it, or whatever, then obviously, the prisoners would inflict harm upon themselves. With or without their knowledge. Or they could be advised after the fact, like it was a test and you failed. So the committee will be like, how do you expect us to release you into the public with the free world if you're going to behave like that? And we have all the evidence right here. Everything you stated, everything you did. Because these AI robots, they can act and behave just like us, humans. Right? And then I even thought about AI robots, um, like women or like little kids, and they can test people, like if they would rape them. And then I even thought about, like, if they did, then like it could have something in the vagina or in the butthole to poke their penis, which will be used as evidence against them. So, as soon as the robot detects or senses with sensors something go in there, which we all know what it would be. It will be their penis, right? And the machine will poke their penis. And maybe we can even do it where it'll lock. So they'll try to pull out, but they won't be able to. So this type of idea will be used for potential rapists. So we can have some fine, beautiful looking AI robots, female gender, makeup, nice hair, nice bodies, and throw them out there in the public. And even places where men take advantage of women, so we could detect which humans are doing what. And believe me, they're going to go to the hospital thereafter. They're going to require some medical attention. So just imagine testing people like that. Right? And like I said, everything will be monitored and recorded. So like, if there's more than one person, then everything will be, documented. And of course, it will be evidence that will be used against them in the court of law, or code of or court of laws. The legal system. Um, I personally thought it would be a good idea. Like sending these AI robots in the middle of the night somewhere where there's like no one around, and just have them pull a full shift right there from sundown to sunrise. Till sun, yeah, till sundown to till sunrise. They'll just hang out in one little spot, but there will be hundreds and thousands of them. And we could even have them go into parties, clubs, so they could monitor and record everything that people are doing. And then we can monitor and record how some guys out there, take advantage of women, or if they try to take advantage of the robot, stuff like that. And how would we ever know? How would we ever know what these people are really doing if we never put it to the test? Because technically, we are already testing ourselves with our mobile phones, messaging, phone calls, the digital ID with its limited capabilities, but very powerful nonetheless, right? Like, people think everything's a joke. Like, what about speaking up for people? So the AI robots will speak up for people. And of course, other people will get angry for speaking up for the person who is spoken down upon. And as the AI robot is addressing the aggressor, the person who is speaking down on the other person, the robot will be able to say things in that person's defense, just to see how and monitor how these people are getting down and how they're living life. Because there's no reason for people to to be behaving like that towards other people just because they have a lot of money, or they think they're some big time drug lords, or you know like movie star actors like Scarface, or whatever the case may be, right? Or like, what about hitchhiker AI robots? Hmm? Fine, pretty girl. Or these perverts, where they won't even mind pulling over and being like, and telling them like, "Hey, you need a ride," and then we could program them to like only have so much strength. So to the let's say the predators, in their eyes, they will think that these AI victims, are weak and fragile. So they'll be able to easily overcome them just to gather new data. Well, I don't know. What do you people think? It's more like sting operations. Like the cops who sell drugs, and then they sell the drugs to people on the streets and then they bust them. Undercover cops selling drugs to people. They pay for the drug, they keep the money, and then they lock them up. Similar to that. What do you people think about that? And obviously, if these people rape the AI robots, it's a fake artificial vagina. So all the evidence will be in there for the lab. Right? And then we could dress them like sexy, like super sexy. Short shorts, or even like a short skirt with some nice, beautiful, clean clothing, brand new, nice artificial hair, flawless, the whole 9 yards, like a sex doll, but on the streets, without people knowing. That's exactly what they'll be.